Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of Freedom Friday here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I'm, as always, your host, Air the Ohio Patriot, and for today's episode, we are going to talk about the ridiculous weather that is going on with Ohio in the last 72 hours, as well as a super thick turkey sandwich I'm currently eating. And also today's Canada Dry is our unofficial sponsor for the day. I just happen to be about to crack open a can of it right now because it's the only kind of ginger ale I like to drink. Of course, that cracked off and it sprayed just a little bit on there. Wiped up so I don't get any more ants in this fucking area. About what's going on? Sorry, my cousin calling me. Of course it is. Sorry about that. I called my cousin a little bit ago. If he was going to bring stuff over today, and he's like, "Oh yeah, call me back now, whatever." And yeah. So anyway, I got some cheese today. Little piece of Colby right there, which is super thin. I don't know why they sliced this thin as they did. Should have been at least twice as thick. Eat that before it starts going kind of gross. But I'll tell you what, the guy. Ooh, that's really good. I'll tell you what, the guy who was on the slicer, he's like, "How thick do you want the turkey?" And I'm like, maybe like that or whatever the case be. And I don't know if you give it to me a little bit thicker than that or not, but yeah, that's like in a binder. I had to cut these in half because they were so big I couldn't get them on these bones. But that is a thick ass turkey slice, dude. That is that's like a ham slice right there. What that is. This is supposed to be honey smoked, I believe what it is. It tastes like honey too. Actually quite good. So, also got some Gusenberg Swiss today. This is very tasty when it's like room temperature. When it's a little bit cold, it's not that good though. I noticed that with most cheeses though, is that on my shirt there. Canada Dry, that was the actual drink and not, unfortunately, the conversation on the can. As it is, I already had to change my shirt once today because of this crazy ass weather we're having today. So I went out earlier today with my uncle to go to the store, and we went to the local farmer's market place there. And I was going to do Walmart on the way back, as it was. And look how much, like if you'll notice right here on the side right there, how my hair is here. You can see how much like it's almost like a white or like clear like shafts are coming right now there. It's getting really irritating. Like if everyone thinking it was salt and pepper, but it's not. It's like brown, but then there's like these weird like colorless hairs that are like it almost looks like they're like white or like just like clear see-through, and it comes like that. Really is what it is. Which I think I'm gonna shave my beard one of these days soon just to get rid of some of that shit. Is what it is. Which I'm not gonna shave, but I'm gonna like how much I have right here right now. Like I'm probably gonna cut probably like that off right there is my guess. So it'll be a lot thinner, and then I'll buzz down a little bit too on the sides and stuff like that. Because if I do run for office next year, I don't want to look like a fucking mountain man, homeless guy, whatever the case be. And actually look professional, so it doesn't matter run for office then, potentially. So, but yeah. So anyway, what's that saying then? Oh yeah. I was talking about okay. So yeah, so we went. I left here about 1 o'clock today to go over there to that place, and it takes about 20-ish minutes or so to drive over there. When I look outside, it's like, okay, it's not storming or anything like that. They said it was supposed to possibly rain, but it was like a 30% chance that it is, and I'm like, okay, it should be fine. Let's go whatever the case be. It's not going to be an issue or whatever. And then, sure enough, I was in that place for maybe 20, 25 minutes. So you're talking about maybe a 45-minute or so total there between the time I left here and the time I was leaving that place. And yeah, as soon as I left that place, it had already started storming outside. Not too bad. It was really, really like late actually, but it was still storming basically. And then, sure enough, like as we were driving back here to the apartment, about halfway through on the highway, it just started pouring down. And I'm talking about like, if you ever seen like rain out conditions, like there was that one movie, I think it was called like The Inventor or something many years ago. It was about the guy that invented windshield wipers, and it was like the rainstorms he was going through back then. This is the reason why he did that, obviously. Dude, even with my uncle having the windshield wipers on all the full blast, like you could barely see like a couple inches in front of you. That's how heavy this rain was coming down. And then sure enough, I had to go get my mail. And so I ended up getting out of the car then. I was wearing my orange shirt at the time. And then, yeah, within the minute or so I got out of the car to get my mail from the mailbox, my whole back was just drenched in fucking rainwater. Like that's how quick it was coming down. And yeah, it was a fucking nightmare, man. So, but I'm feeling pretty good now though, because I got that taken care of, and everything else is good. And now it seems like it's not quite as humid in this room right now as it was yesterday or the day before that. So, which might be from the rain and stuff, but who knows? It's just like I said, it's just irritating either way because it's about like I've been here about almost 3 months now, I think is what it is, and I would say at least 30 days of that has been almost nonstop rain. So it's kind of frustrating on that aspect of things. But see how thick that is, dude. Super thick. I can almost take this other sandwich and put it in the fridge right now. I thought, but I would just make the one sandwich then because this is some thick ass turkey. I know it's like I know for a fact he was cutting the ham at least this thick, maybe a little thicker then. I think it was some kind of Virginia ham, and dude, I'll tell you what, like I don't know if the woman that was getting that Virginia ham, if she was making it into sandwiches or she was making it into like fried ham slices or what it was, but yeah, it was like those thick ass fried hams up in there. So, I mean, I can probably fry this up right now in the pan and make a fried turkey sandwich, honestly. I'm not trying to do that though because it's weird, but I could if I want to. That does bring me to thinking something now. If I fry up like a piece of turkey like this and then did like a grilled cheese and like put it in with the grilled cheese, that would be good or not. I don't think it would be. That actually sounds kind of gross, to be honest with you. But that is some thick ass turkey, though, for sure. Very good, though, man. Very, very good. Got the second sandwich here. Just bite a chunk out of it. Hopefully that tryptophan will make me sleep better. I gotta take my autoimmune shot in the next couple of days. Here's what it is, and I don't really want to. The only thing I hate about those injectables like that is that it completely kills your immune system for days, if not a week or so. And so, yeah, basically, I'm in a situation right now where I gotta wait to see if I can go out tomorrow with my cousin to go get some stuff from the store. Because, like I said, I can't go to Walmart today, but then I want to go there either tomorrow or Sunday then. And so I got to figure out when he can take me this weekend, what it is. So then it'll be after that I can take my shot then, which is not good because I know it's been, I think, around 8 weeks now that I had in between the time I took the last shot. And I know for a fact it's supposed to take us around 8 weeks at a time now is what it is. And really it should be more like 6 to 7 weeks for me just because of how my joints are. And that's the thing, like the problem with the inflammation from the psoriasis and everything else like that is, well, it's not totally psoriasis, it's from the rheumatoid arthritis is what it is actually. And yeah, once an inflammation starts kicking back up, it is so fucking painful, dude. So it just sucks, man. But yeah, it's like there was a reason why I went on this chat on Tuesday. It was basically talking about taking quote unquote hardcore narcotics, which it's not really narcotics per se. It's like Delta 9 gummies is what it is there, which it's pretty sad when that's like the only thing that can get me to sleep right now and not be, constant fucking agony where I'm literally trying to sleep for like, I didn't go on to bed last night, or I guess it was this morning, technically speaking. I was in bed for maybe like 2 hours or so. And then all I did was like a slight shift, and it was my whole back was aching. My right knee that I had basically broken the cap of was just hurting like hell. And I don't know. I need to talk to my doctor about getting like muscle relaxers or something, dude, because I need to get something to where I can actually have like my body being relaxed enough to where I can actually get like a few hours of sleep at a time or more, and not have like every 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is, like a slight shift will basically wake me back up and then I can't get back to sleep for another 2 hours or something like that. It's no way to live, man. It really isn't. And it doesn't help when you have this fucking weather every time you turn around. It's like the other day it was at that crazy humid index for 3-4 days in a row, or now it's just like this rainstorm. It's just pure humidity on top of that is what it is there, and that just sucks ass, dude. Although I guess it could be worse because we could be New York City right now trying to elect a dumbass communist piece of shit Islamic terrorist for their fucking mayor, who should have already been booted the fuck out of this country, period, and have his citizenship revoked at this point, honestly. That asshole Zohan. Or Zohan, how his fucking retard's name, who gives a fuck. Some piece of shit Islamic terrorist is what it really is, honestly, at the end of the day. But yeah, there's been several things that have come about that guy since that marriage race the other day where Cuomo conceded to his ass in the Democrat primary. And turns out this guy's been meeting with Obama in the last couple of months, supposedly, and had like direct conversation with the Muslim Brotherhood, which I'm pretty sure is a designated terrorist organization here in America. And if it's not, it needs to be. And that alone should disqualify this guy from office. Not to mention the Communist Act 1954 that should be disqualifier as well, which basically says anybody part of a communist organization, which is what this guy claims to be part of, is not allowed to hold elected office in this country, which I personally think we honestly need to have a Founding Fathers Act in place right now that says if you're not a natural born citizen of this country, and you don't have loyalties to this country, you don't get to fucking be in office, bitch. You don't even get fucking citizenship in this country, asshole. Which, that's what I don't understand. Like, why are we letting fucking foreign nationals control our politics at this point? Why are we letting them be politicians, dude? When, whether it be Ilhan Omar or somebody else for that matter, Rashad Tlaib, etc., have already admitted that their fucking alliances lie with other countries. Like, especially Omar's ass, dude. Like, this bitch has done entire speeches in Somali that have been translated into English, where she admits that she is Somali first, and fuck America, we're trying to take it over, basically. And it's like, how are you still on my country's soil, bitch? Like, why have you not been fucked off at military gunpoint at this point, honestly? And the same thing with the rest of these motherfuckers, too, for that matter. So, like, I'll tell you what, if I was in Trump's place or even Vance's place at this point as VP, I would have already made sure to enact that shit on these fuckers, dude, and just removed Islam by force from this country because they have no reason to be here, dude. When they are actively trying to implement Sharia law on our country, so take our constitutional rights, when they are actively refusing to assimilate into our nation because we keep letting them in fucking mass forces, where it's a bunch of fighting age males at a time and stuff like that. It's like, no, get the fuck out of here, don't come back. Like, take your shit back to the Middle East, where it belongs, and don't ever fucking come here again. It ain't that hard, bro. So, I'm gonna see if I can find the thing I was talking about, though, with the communism thing. Which apparently there's also a thing where if you basically lie on your citizenship test about sorry, that's my doing a little laundry in the background there. Yeah, it's apparently if you lie on the citizenship test about being a communist and stuff like that, you can actually receive citizenship within 5 years. Apparently, the guy's running for New York mayor that's been there 7 years, but I think that could honestly get some into that asshole too, for that matter, though. But yeah, here's the Communist Act thing here. So it's time to remind the country the Communist Control Act 1954 is still law. This means you can't serve in government if you were part of a communist organization. Even better, Naturalization Act says if a new citizen pushes communist revolution within 5 years, that's proof they lied to get in. Their citizenship can be revoked. So here's the play. President Trump, VP Vance, could do the funniest thing ever. Start enforcing the law that's already on the books. No new bills, no debates. Just strip the mask off the radicals and send the clear message. You don't get to destroy this country from within. Socialists beware. You wanted a revolution, let's start with a law you forgot exists, and this is the 1954 Communist Control Act. It's an act to outlaw the Communist Party to prohibit members of communist organizations from serving in certain, well, it says certain representative capacities and other purposes, although I think it'd be all at this point, honestly. But yeah, that was enacted August 24th, 1954 is what it is, by the 83rd Congress. So... and I believe that had specifically to do with McCarthy, as I'm not mistaken, which, ironically enough, people always bitch about Joseph McCarthy, and that's where the whole McCarthyism thing came from, is what it is. And they're like, oh, this guy was like basically trying to gaslight everybody about, communism this, communism that, or whatever the case be. Turns out he was fucking right. The problem is that there were so many fucking communists already in government at the time, already in Hollywood at the time, etc., that all he had to do was basically throw a stone to get 10 of them, is what it is, dude. So, he thought he had like 9 allies, and it turned out all 10 of the people that were around him were a bunch of fucking communists. So the guy was completely spot on, is what it is. But yeah, it's just completely insane, dude. Split sandwich, man. I think I see a dash of salt right now. But yeah, it's just wild to think about that. You have so many laws already in our books that nobody's bothering enforcing, is what it is. Which, that's what I understand why we don't do that, dude. It's like, you could easily deal with this shit with past laws that people smarter than you wrote, as it is. It's like all these leftists are always bitching about the Second Amendment and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, and guess what, dude? Compared to your retarded ass bitch, the founding fathers were the smartest people ever fucking born in this country, or in another country for that matter. Because technically it would be, I believe all the founding fathers were technically born in Britain or the UK or whatever, but they were Americans by blood at that point. For fighting revolution in this country is what it was. And it was their children that were the first, generation of true Americans at that point then. So technically, I guess it'd be the kids, the founding fathers would be the actual Americans I'm speaking of. But the thing was, these dudes were learning Latin in like the 3rd or 4th grade, dude. Meanwhile, you have fucking idiots in college right now at 19, 20 years old who can barely speak proper English. So it's sad and pathetic how we've come, almost 250 years now, and these, it's just a dumbing down society is what it is there. It makes me sick, honestly. This is some very good turkey meat, I'll tell you that right now. Yeah, I believe it was honey smoked is what it is. But you can definitely taste the honey smoke in it. No. If you guys hear that beeping in the background. What's nice is, I think it was a Whirlpool, but I'm not sure. It was GE, whatever the over under. Washer dryer I got over there at the place, which I paid way too much money for, like several $100 too much money for, I think, honestly. And now I basically got to find places that have washer dryer hookups wherever I move next. Unless I can make a deal with the guy to go back into my mom's place for X amount of dollars a month then. Versus my mom's old place now that we sold to them. And then I think he probably already has a washer dryer there, is my guess. But it might just be the hookups for it though, because I could easily just take mine as it would be. If that'd be the case, it'd just be a multi-year tenant form as it would be then or whatever. Hopefully that'll work out for the best, but I don't know yet. I've talked to the guy still about it. So I'm ready to get on that pretty quick because I'd like to be able to have an actual conversation with this man. I think he would do it for me, honestly, because the thing is, like, I know for a fact he wants to rent the place out. I know for a fact, like, if I could work out a deal with how much it would be a month or whatever the case be, and he'd be willing to actually, take that amount of what it is there, basically. Because I only make, a certain amount of money what it is there, and I can only draw a certain amount of money, obviously. Because the thing is, like, it's not like he's not going to make his money back already. I mean, my sister was going to sell. They got the fucking mineral rights to the place, which I think was fucking retarded, personally. That's one thing we should have obviously kept. But yeah, from my understanding, like, he's going to make a deal at some point where 3 to 4 years from now, what he paid us for that property, he's going to pay it off with the fucking oil rights based underneath the damn thing. So, why wouldn't you just have the dude, like, cut a deal with the dude who was the previous owner of the fucking place, being myself, for, 13 years consecutively, and just be like, yeah, let's bring Adam back there now as our, tenant for the next, like, 5-10 years, whatever in life, or how long he wants to be there for, is what it is. Just make a multi-year deal or something like that then. So I think the guy's pretty reasonable. At least I hope he'd be anyway. If nothing else in negotiations, I bring it up and be like, well, here's the deal, dude. I know you'd be making your money back from the mineral rights and stuff like that, so let's not beat around the bush here. Like, I think you could easily do it for this much money or whatever then. Like I said, he's also a fellow gun dude, so hope that will work out for the best, but who knows. But, yeah, if that moron Vivek gets his way, though, you'll have a bunch of fucking dumbass leftists coming into this state right now and basically taking over. And it's like, that's what I hate about people that are running for politics or trying to be politicians or whatever. It's like, you don't speak for the fucking state, bro. You speak for yourself. So shut your fucking mouth, is what it is. Like, most of us people that live in this red state don't want these fucking outsiders coming into our state and fucking it up, dude. We don't want our state becoming a hub for jackassery, is what it is. We don't want fucking Have a red state turn into a blue hellhole in 5 to 10 years is what it is. And that's another thing. I truly believe that Vivek is a fucking Trojan horse at this point, dude. Like, the guy is a self-admitted anchor baby. There's a reason why I rescinded my endorsement of his ass, like, over a month ago now is what it is. I think more like 2 months ago, actually, at this point. And it's because he's a fucking clown. Like, every other thing he says out of his mouth is basically some bullshit about our power grid about to fail here. But at the same time, is like telling other people, like, oh yeah, come move here now. It's like, so you want to put more resources on the fucking stream grid than you jackass? Oh, how about the fact that about 2 weeks ago, there was a crazy chemical explosion at one of the nuclear plants here is what it is, where it was spewing fucking toxic shit into the air, and nobody seems to be talking about it, dude. There is no politicians at all I've heard say a fucking word about that shit in the past 2 weeks now since it's happened. It was more like 3 weeks ago now, but I heard about it the other day is what it was, and the comments were like 2 weeks old what it was there. And I feel like they're covering shit up here is what it is, dude. Not to mention the fact that you had a recent data study done that was talking about how the air quality in Ohio is one of the worst in the fucking country right now. But I think it was only Indiana being worse than us right now is what it is. And it's like, it makes sense when you got the whole vinyl chloride spill over there in East Palestine, which I recently found out is about 12 to 13 miles from my aunt and uncle's farm that I go fish at every year. So, I was going to take some decent crappie and stuff out of that, but now I'm kind of hesitant to eat those out of there is what it is, because I'm like, are these all chemically contaminated now is what it is? Probably. At the same time, it's like, seems like everything is chemically contaminated now, so it's like, what the fuck, man? Might as well just eat them anyway. Just roll the dice on that one. Hopefully you don't get fucking exposure or whatever then. So, which nobody's even come up with a plan now about how to fix the watersheds that are contaminated from that shit. Nobody's come up with a plan of how to actually fix anything from that whole thing, which is stupid because at minimum you could literally plant a bunch of, I think it's oyster mushrooms is what it is, all over the area there, and they could at least suck up the poisons and the chemicals from the ground soil and stuff like that, and also be an edible fucking food source at that point too, for that matter. Because it's some kind of thing with their growth or whatever, where they can actually like suck up the poison chemicals into their fungi systems is what it is there. And I don't know how exactly it works, but it's something like photosynthesis or whatever the case be, where it basically turns it from a poison to, it's like they're basically eating the poison and then like spitting out like clean energy is what it is basically. And so that's why you can actually eat those mushrooms the same year that you plant them. There's what it is, because they're sucking up the toxins from the soil, feeding on the toxins to grow, and by the time they're done growing, I guess, is what it is, they're like safe to eat. So, and yeah, I don't know why we're not doing stuff like that, dude. It's sort of silly, honestly. So. But again, it's fucking government fuckery for you there. It's just like the stupid ass budget thing they did the other day where people were bitching and moaning, all the Democrats were bitching and moaning about like, oh, this is going to fuck over low income people. And the Republicans were like, no, it's not. And here's how it's not. And yeah, it's just Democrat lies again, which, mind you, every single Democrat currently in the House General Assembly should be out of office right now for deprivation of rights under color of law and a few other misdemeanor/felony charges, because they're all attacking gun rights constantly, every single General Assembly. Just like the other day, these fucking cocksuckers tried to push through legislation again for universal background checks. Don't know about universal background checks. Universal background checks are nothing more than Hitlerian gun rosters. They are literally meant to be a sitting gun roster for local police, federal agents, whatever you want to call it at that point, some kind of law enforcement, to have at their disposal so that when these fuckers enact gun control and gun confiscation, which they will, because it's already been proven that they've done it for fucking centuries now. Every dictator throughout history has done it. Hitler, Stalin, Mao, etc. Pol Pot's done it. Che Guevara did it. Hugo Chavez, who's the father of that bastard Nicolas Maduro, did it. In Venezuela there. Maduro continued on, obviously, after taking power there. And yeah, it's all Registration leading to confiscation, dude. Which leads to genocides of people at that point. You cannot have an actual civilianry that is unarmed. You have a dictated group of servants and serfs at that point is what you have. They're an underclass to a dictator. And that's the entire problem right now. And I will never sit back. I will never, ever be disarmed by some fucking cocksucker piece of shit who is trying to steal my rights or trying to steal the rights of other Ohioans at that point. When their bitch ass should be in fucking prison right now. Especially not when it's some fucking cocksucking cunt who's part of Moms Demand Action who only got into power because Bloomberg really bought elections here in the state of Ohio when the fucker doesn't even live here in Ohio. Which, explain that shit to me, by the way. How the fuck are you going to have a dude who is in another state funding races in a completely different state? How is that even legal? Because it fucking shouldn't be. And that's why I specifically called out Tex Fisher's ass on Twitter the other day underneath our network moniker, because he is the only Republican right now that is on some BS safe storage crap. Well, it's not. It technically is not like labeled as safe storage, but basically it's like storage of firearms is what they call it or whatever. But it's basically safe storage crap is what it is. And he is the only Republican on that legislation that is otherwise 100% Democrat garbage. And I even called him out and I'm like, dude, why are you even on this? Like, it's fucking stupid. Because we all know who's going to write this fucking trash information. It's going to be a Moms Demand Action member. It's going to be the group or something like that. It's going to be the ones pushing that shit. It's going to be some other Bloomberg fucking proxy or some Giffords tech proxy or whatever the case be. There's zero reason to put your name on that, because you should know by now, Tex, if you actually pay attention to Ohio politics for the last anywhere from like year to fucking 10 years before you ran for office, buddy, that it specifically takes a Republican in this supermajority state house and state senate right now in the state of Ohio to actually get anything moving out of a committee. So why the fuck would you put your name on something that would be killed in committee otherwise? Because it's 100% Democrat fucking garbage, anti-gun trash. And mind you, the reason I call out Tex specifically on that one is because this is also the guy who is currently supposed to be the lead sponsor in pro-choice legislation, like the Second Amendment Preservation Act here, which is what we're going to talk about momentarily, because they supposedly dropped the stuff for that the other day, is what it was. So, let me go ahead and grab that real quick now. Sorry, I'm trying to dash of salt on my other sandwich I'm about to eat here before it starts going kind of room temp. Okay. This is all the stuff from legiscan.com right here. What the fuck? Sorry, my video feed keeps going out like crazy. But yeah, this is all the stuff from legiscan.com for the Ohio General Assembly right now. Which we got, so 27th, this is 2 days ago. We got from the State Senate. Make changes to telemarketing law, expand the address confidentiality program. I can only assume that this one right here probably has to do with people running for local offices, my guess. So that, ironically, they can't be doxxed. But yeah, God forbid you're everyday citizen them. You easily can be. So, let's see what this one even is now. Let's see, Republican. Doesn't really say. Susan Manchester, though, she's a fucking scumbag. I know kind of know for a fact. So, oh, here we go. Yep, the House enact the Second Amendment Preservation Act, or Protection Act, as we call it now. We also got designate Migraine and Headache Awareness Month. Create the Do It for Jack license plate. There's another one we used the other day. And then we got some other crap here. And then, like I said, fucking Democrat garbage of enact the Universal Background Checks Act with 26 pieces of shit on it. Specifically, Crystal Lett, Rachel Baker, Karen Brownlee, and I'm trying to think who else is on this list right now. Michelle Grimm is another one. Oh, by the way, speaking of traitorous shit here, like I said with Islam and stuff earlier, Ismail Muhammad, a dude who is a literal fucking Muslim piece of fucking shit, is trying to take away my rights and yours here in Ohio when he shouldn't even be in this fucking state house. And then, of course, you got demonic cunt herself, Anita Samani, who is a known baby-killing fucking super cunt who should already be in prison for mass genocide of the unborn at this point. So, but yeah, you got, I believe Crystal Lett is paid for by Bloomberg. I know for a fact that Rachel Baker, Karen Brownlee, and Michelle Grimm are all MDA people. I want to say Veronica Sims might be as well, but I could be wrong about that one. I know at least like these three right here, and then maybe this chick, so that'd be potentially four. And I think Chris Glassburn also was paid for by Bloomberg's Dark Money. I know Danny Isaac John is another one of these people. That is too, because I know he was, I believe he was former Students Demand is what it was. So, yeah, you have at least like 5 people on this list right now that are all directly tied to Michael Bloomberg in some way or another. This anti-gun bullshit. Erica White might be another one too. I think she might be an ex-Mom's Man, actually member. And of course, Cecil Thomas, who literally fucking broke term limits to jump to the state house side from the state senate side, is a known Bloomberg bitch and is definitely bought and paid for, along with where's her name at? Allison Russo is the bitch who took a direct bribe from these fucking cunts back in 2021. Whereas that big federal full account was never investigated. So, and then Darnell Brewer is just a dumb ON. And for those who don't know what ON is, it's basically an older version of a YN. So, and then of course you got Tristan Rader on this list, along with Samani, who are the 2 morons who are trying to make it so that dudes can't jerk off in this state anymore. Because they're like, oh, you should be protecting the seed to give birth, that gives the conception of the child or whatever. And it's like, y'all are fucking retarded as shit, dude. Just get the fuck out of here. Fucking dumb cunts. And then, of course, you got this bullshit here that's already been done to the House Public Safety Committee, which has established the Ohio Task Force on Gun Violence. Which, by the way, this is the shit that they already did away with federally because it was trash and just a waste of fucking money. And of course, it's the same fucking Mom's Demand stupid cunts on this one, too, for that matter. And then the Islamic terrorist right there. So. Yeah. Let's see who's actually on SAPA, though. I want to see what the actual list of people is here on this one. So we got 35, which is pretty good. But the fact that we have like 60-something Republicans in the State House right now is kind of a slap in the face, honestly. I just want to see what our actual list is right now for how the numbers break down currently. Yeah, we have a 64-35 Republican supermajority, so just over half are on this list right now as co-sponsors and primary sponsors and stuff, which really is a slap in the face, honestly, dude, because it should be 64 people. End of story. But yeah, so we got Tex on here, which I'm guessing he's the only primary on this one, but I thought there was somebody else in there too. I'm responsible if I could be wrong. I don't know, I guess it is just Tex. Okay, and then we got all the co-sponsors here across the board. So let's see. So Tim Barhost is the guy who took over from Nina Vitale's old state congressional seat. I believe he was the one that beat Vitale's wife for that seat, actually. You got Thad Claggett, who was the guy who basically won the primary and got in there. Rodney Creech, who I believe is either a second or a third term guy right now. Levi Dean, who is a first term state rep. Kelly Dieter, who might actually be the wife of my old doctor when I was a kid. But I'm not sure. I know his wife's name was Kelly, and I'm not so sure that it's not the same woman, honestly. That'd be kind of funny if it was, actually. So, anyway. Steve, I believe, is a first-termer, I want to say. Ron Ferguson, I think, is in his final term in the State House right now before he has to get termed out. Sarah Falda Arthur, I believe, is she's either second or third term. I believe she got it in 2020, so I think she'd be third go right now. Jennifer Gross, I believe, would be on her final term right now. Same with Thomas Hall. Same with Adam Holmes. Same with Mark Johnson. Matthew Kishman is actually the guy that I would be attempting the primary next year if I was to run for the State House myself, because he would be the district that I'd be running in, basically. So, and then Roy Kelpfinstein, I think I should pronounce it again. I'm not even sure how to pronounce this guy's last name. I'm just going to call him Roy. He's a first termer. Jeff LaRae is, I believe, on his final term. Beth Lear was a known mega chick for Trump. Brian Lawrence, I believe, was the final termer. Same thing with Adam Matthews. I think Ty Matthews might be a first term guy. I think that's also Adam Matthews' brother, if I'm not mistaken, or cousin maybe or something. Royden McLean, I believe, is in his final term. I believe Melanie Miller is either in her third or fourth term right now. Diane Mullins is a first-termer. Jonathan Newman's a first-termer. Justin Pizzel is one of these guys that was basically put into office as an appointee, and I believe he is now in his second technical term now, as it would be. So, and then Kevin Ritter's a new person. Gene Schmidt has been there a couple of years now. Jason Stevens, and I'm surprised to see his name on there, actually, because he was the ex-speaker who was being a dickhead last year about 2A stuff. And we got Brian Stewart, who's I believe he's in his final term right now in the State House. He was also one of the ones who was talking about when it came to the budget proposal and how it was all about choices with the Democrat BS as it is there. DJ Swearingen, this is the guy who actually fucked us over with the NRA, is what it was, back in 2022 when we were passing constitutional carry here. Because it was basically at the last minute he met behind closed doors with the NRA representatives that came here, and like the day or so before they did the votes and stuff. And then when they went to do the votes, they basically enacted Terry stop bullshit in the constitutional carry, which, ironically enough, if this SAPA law does pass, I believe that would actually take out that crap in constitutional carries if it is there. Or it might be the other one that Chris Dorheimer is working on it, because there's two different bills that they're supposed to be working on right now. SAPA was one of them, and then I believe there was something else to basically clean up constitutional carry to be better than it used to be as it is. So, which is all the stupid bullshit restriction crap that was in it. But anyway, Michelle Turska is a new person. Same thing with Dave Thomas. Or actually, come to think of it, David Thomas might be a second-term guy. I can't remember offhand. Josh Williams is a second term. Bernard Willis. is, I believe, a first or second termer, and then Heidi Workman will be a first termer, and I believe she might be the actual wife of the guy who was trying to run with that idiot Joe Blystone for governor last year, or not last year, but in 2022. So I think she's Jeremiah Workman's wife is what it is there. But yeah, interesting to see who's actually on this and who's not then, given who could be on this right now. I think it's very telling, by the way, to see this and not see the current Speaker of the House being on this, because it's kind of a slap in the face to Second Amendment advocates that the Speaker of the House himself is not on this list. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with that one then. So I believe that the Larry Henderson Act would be the cop that was murdered by that piece of shit black supremacist in cold blood the day after a bunch of other cops, shot his fucking retarded ass criminal son in self-defense. So, but yeah, and then of course you got stuff that's already banned federally that retards like Cecil Thomas, mom's the man bitch like Michelle Grimm is, want to ban the state level then. It's just redundancy legislation these morons are trying to pass here, dude. And then this is the thing I was talking about with text being on it, which was the require distribution of information on firearm storage. We already have that text. Like, why the fuck are you a co-sponsor on this, bro? As one of the primaries. Especially with the most retarded motherfucker in the entire General Assembly when it comes to programs and shit about addressing gun violence, even though, let's just say it like it is, Darnell. It's the fucking black teens that are in your fucking district that are causing the fucking problems here, buddy. How about you actually admit that and we can fucking move on with our lives? It's all these damn YNs over there in fucking Cleveland, Cincinnati, Columbus, Dayton, Toledo, etc. that are causing all these fucking crimes in the state, you jackass. With firearms. It's not a bunch of white guys going out there and doing that shit. Or Asian guys or Latino guys. Nah. It's a bunch of idiots that y'all don't want to bother talking about fucking fatherless homes with and stuff like that, dude. Which is one of the main problems there in the black community. One of many problems in the black community, honestly, in this country and in the state. So, but yeah, it's just fucking stupid. Like, if Texas' name was not on this, it would be Democrat trash that would never see fucking light of day, dude. So, but anyway, hopefully Second Protection Act actually works, though, and get shit done. It's nice to see how many people are on this, though. I will say that. But like I said, it'd be nice to see another 29 on this list right now. So, anyway, on that note, I'm flickering it out like crazy. I'm going to go finish this other sandwich right now. Bit more to room temp right now, actually. Still pretty good, though. So, these buns are nice. I just wish they were about half the price they cost. Because for an 8-pack of those, it was like $4 something. Which I guess isn't bad because that's what, like 50-ish cents a bun, give or take. But still, it is a little expensive compared to, cost per unit kind of thing he does there. Sorry, I was just looking at what Kishman was on right now when it comes to stuff here. Oh yeah, I totally forgot about ex-state rep and ex-gubernatorial candidate Ron Hood down here last year. That's another very sad one because Hood was another one of these guys that if it wasn't for him fighting for R2A rights in the state, we would have never seen constitutional carry, we never seen stand your ground. So that is definitely a huge loss. Just like the same thing with Chris Jordan a couple years ago when he passed. It's like it wasn't for these 2A fighters, man, we wouldn't have the rights we have right now. And it's exactly why people like me need to get in office eventually, because we need to take that torch, pick it up, and just keep carrying it further and further down the road and making the state one of the most pro-Second Amendment states of all right now. So anyway, but yeah, other than that though, that's about it for the day, I think. I will be back at some point in the future. By the way, the Reseller Friday stuff I used to do back last year, we're not doing that anymore, mostly because we can't. I found out recently that apparently the place I was getting a bunch of that stuff from on the Fridays for 50 cents a pop, it used to be Monday to Friday to open the doors there and let people come in and get stuff out of their bins and things like that for X amount of money is what it is. They apparently stopped that completely, from my cousin told me recently, and they're just going more towards the sale side on their website. And I think it might be because of the fact they realized that a lot of the stuff they were putting out in the bins was actually worth way more than what they were charging for it. And I can tell you that firsthand because I know for a fact, like one of the things I got there one time was these weird looking insulated totes that I thought were maybe like $3 to $5 a pop or something like that off Amazon. And yeah, sure enough, when I checked out them on Amazon, they were like $40 a piece. And I got, I think, 3 or 4 of them for 50 cents a piece. So even if I can make like $20 a piece on each one of those ones, I'd be sitting very pretty then. But oh, so speaking about Islam not being, well, going back full cycle actually before we leave today, about Islam being kicked out of the U.S. entirely, here's something that somebody else said in response to the Communist Act there on that one Twitter post there. So Islam is not allowed in the U.S. So from U.S. Immigration 952, McCarran-Walters Act, it is the law restricted and reaffirmed 1965, still active and on the books, federal law, whereas in Islam and Sharia law is not compatible with U.S. law or the U.S. Constitution and calls for its destruction, and therefore it is banned from entry into the U.S. So yeah, the 52 McCarran-Walters Act. So there we go, man. Stuff I'm talking about now is Founding Fathers Act. It's already on the books as other things now. Just enforce it, Trump. Do your job as president, bro. Deport Islam for the betterment of America before these fuckers try to do an attack in a week. I would not be the least bit surprised next Friday, being 4th of July, which we're going to do a special 4th of July special Freedom Friday. Then that'll be the case. Then I'll do my 17th cat on then. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised in at least this cocksucker tried to strike with some bullshit fucking Islamic terrorist shit then. And a bunch of Islamic terror attacks that day. Which is exactly why I'm going to go to the store this weekend and get enough food and stuff for the next several weeks. And I'm actually to the point right now, I might just buy a case of bottled water too, for that matter, just in case. Maybe a couple cases actually, now I think about it. Not that I really want to do that, but it's worth investing in, honestly, at this point, just in case. So anyway, but yeah, other than that, to recap, fuck the left, fuck Islam specifically, and it's time for it to be banned from this country's soil forever and be done with it. Boot them all out. Get this country back to the Christian nation it was created as, and go from there. And it's as simple as that. Hopefully the fan this whole time wasn't really like blowing into my mic. I don't think it was. I guess now I'm looking at it, kind of probably was actually. Yeah, that's no good. Sorry about that, I didn't realize that. But hopefully it doesn't come off all shitty or whatever the case be, and it'll be alright then. But yeah, I'll do better next time. It's just hard to set that fan up in such a way where it can actually be hitting me properly and not affecting audio and stuff then. So anyway, but yeah, it's time for Trump to get rid of Islam on U.S. soil. End of story. And it's time for us to have an actual nationwide constitutional carry. It's as simple as that. Other than that, that's it for today. Peace out. Stay safe. Stay vigilant. If you plan on going out to any fireworks shows next Friday or Saturday or Sunday for the 4th of July, I would say have a go bag on you. And by go bag, I mean firearm either in the bag or on your person, and then a bunch of extra mags and stuff in the bag, maybe a tourniquet, some mace or something, maybe a knife, etc. So fixed blade or folder, doesn't really matter, either one works. I will say, since I got it last year, I really wasn't fooling with it too much, but I'll tell you what, this little $5 fixed blade I got last Black Friday, that was one of the Ozark Trail ones. Like, dude, this is a badass little fucking Tonto knife here. And like, I'll tell you what, I really wish I got 2 of these, because this rubber grip that's on here, very, very sturdy in the hand. And yeah, it's just got a little thumb assist thing up here, to where if you have it on your belt or whatever with a clip thing there, you just simply pop it out. And it's good to go. But yeah, I love this knife. It costs $5, man. So I am definitely one of those cheaper knife guys, is what it is. Like, it's like, hey, if you want to go spend 60, 70, $100 for a knife, whatever it is, dude, like, good for you if you have that money. I'd personally rather put that money towards a gun myself, or ammo, or mags for my gun, or whatever it is. And I'd much rather just have a little cheap fixed blade that still runs pretty well as it is. So anyway, but or in that same aspect of things, something like this, which is another one of those little flippers from Walmart last year. That was $5. Similar design on it. But it was Ozark Trail special from Black Friday. So yeah, if I get the money together this year and they have a bunch of these again, I'm definitely gonna. The only problem with this one is that sometimes it does that, obviously. But yeah, if I can get some money together and they have some decent ones like this again, I'm definitely gonna get a couple more knives and who it'll be for the go bags and stuff like that. So anyway, but yeah, other than that, that's it for the day. I hope you guys enjoy this. Like I said, stay safe, stay vigilant. Always be carry extra with what we're seeing now, with the Islamic terror ramping up and stuff like that. I would say honestly, minimum your EDC at this point should be anywhere from 4 to 6 mags. And if that means like half of them in a bag that you're carrying with you or something, cool. But just have like a little tactical sling bag or something like the ones I've shown on here recently. Just carry the stuff in there is what it is, dude. and then just have a couple extra mags on you with your gun. So, but yeah, other than that though, it's been fun. It's been real. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you all on the next one. Peace out. Stay safe. ABC, and make sure to stay alive. So, later, y'all. See you on Sunday for Honda's Chat.